Hello and welcome to May All Be Well, Yoga for Headaches and Migraines. I'm here with my dog Ender. He's resting on the couch. Wherever you are in your practice, wherever you are in the world, this video is really meant to help you, to empower you to be able to do something for yourself when you experience headaches and migraines. According to research, 90% of headaches and migraines have no known cause. So in that case, it's really important to be able to have some sort of techniques and things that you can do for yourself for headaches. The other 10% it is actually really important if you're experiencing headaches and migraines to talk to your doctor and get a proper diagnosis. It could be a symptom of a very serious underlying condition, and we don't want to ignore that. In every case, headaches are your body talking to you, right? It's a symptom of something deeper. And yoga is, as a practice, is really meant to help you become aware. It's meant to develop your awareness. And so one thing I would say is that you may look online and see all these resources that say like, this pose is great for yoga, or this yoga pose is great for headaches, right? But I would caution you against that approach, because really this is preventative medicine at the heart of it all. And in order for you to get the most out of that, you have to really understand the philosophy behind what it is that we're doing. So it's not that I just do a yoga pose and my headache goes away. That's not the way that it works. And unfortunately, like so many people, think that that's what this is, and it's not. So let me explain a little bit about that. You get a headache and you take some medicine, and all it does is really mask the headache. It doesn't really address the core root issues. And through the practice of yoga, if you approach it the way that I'm teaching it and that I'm sharing it with you right now, you begin to develop your sense of awareness of your body. And so normally you might experience a headache like a rush of this like massively overtaking pain. And I know because I had TMJ when I was a child. I went to an orthodontist for it, and he helped realign and adjust my jaw over a period of time, and massively helped with my head, with my migraines. But prior to that, I would just get completely incapacitated with pain. Like, it was so intense that I would have to go and lay down in the back of the classroom and like cover my eyes because the light was too much. And so I'm intimately familiar with that experience. And when you have things like that are incapacitating you, if that's happening to you in your life, it's a message of something deeper, right? And for me, it was structural. So I'm one of those 10% people that had structural misalignment of my jaw. And I want you to just consider that for a minute, because it's very important to the philosophy that I'm sharing. Is like my jaw was out of alignment and it was causing a headache. So there's this connection, right? There's this connection between all the parts of our body structurally, right? My jaw is connected to my entire body, really. And so these misalignments structurally, if you're sitting in a chair a lot at an office desk or any of those types of things, can really dramatically affect your wellness and your state of being, right? But there's also these other levels, which are, there's physical, there's emotional, there's spiritual, there's mental. All of these elements can potentially affect you physically on a physical level. And so you can look at your headaches like a message. They're like a messenger helping you to understand more about yourself. When a headache rushes in and it hits you really hard and it knocks you out, it's too late to think about preventative medicine, okay? You really have to start doing this work I mean, at whatever point you are in your life, you can do this work, right? But if you really want it to be effective, you have to hone your awareness to where you can become aware of the headache before it hits. Like I might become aware of a headache, 3 days before it actually manifests, and so I can start to take these proactive steps and using the very stretches and the techniques that I'm going to teach you here in a moment. And so, but that doesn't work if you don't have the awareness, right? So it's like it's a catch, right? People say like, oh, these 5 poses for yoga poses for headaches, and it doesn't quite work because it's the philosophy behind the practice of yoga that's actually going to help you. And I can't emphasize that enough. Like your practice individually without the philosophy is like, it's like there's an emptiness to it, right? There's no rasa behind it. There's no life behind it. When you practice these poses with right understanding and what it is that you're working toward, then all of your efforts will bear fruit. And you'll find that you will become more and more aware of the things that are causing your headaches. So whatever the root cause of your headaches are, when you begin working with yoga in order to uncover those things, you have to be willing to look at them and face them, and that can be a real challenge, right? Most of the time people are wanting to kind of push things away. They're wanting to not look at those things, and because they're not willing to look at them, what ends up happening is their body sends them a message, and that message is a headache. And in that regard, we should be thankful, right? We should be thankful for our headaches, which seems like a funny approach, especially in the West, right? Why would I thank or be thankful for these headaches? Well, because they're a messenger. And that philosophy and that way of looking at your headaches is an important part of the healing journey, right? If you ignore that whole aspect of it, then even complementary and alternative medicine simply becomes a mask to hide the symptoms without ever really addressing the root cause. So, with all of that said, let's get to some yoga for headaches. So there are some key poses that I like to use in yoga, in hatha yoga, so physical stretches and movements that I like to use to help when I am experiencing tightness in my neck, my shoulders, tension in my head. As you go through these poses, I want you to just be aware of your body. And so we're going to start with awareness. That's really the fundamental foundation of everything that I teach when I teach yoga classes, is this sense of awareness. And you may notice like the pace of our class is going to be very slow, and that's part of it too, right? I don't want to be so rushed that I'm rushing to the next pose or trying to get to the next pose. It's not like I'm going to try and do these poses as quickly as I can and they're going to magically erase my headache. That's not how it works. Part of the healing comes in slowing down, really focusing on your body and your breathing, and even just that may be enough to actually make a shift in how you feel physically. So I'm going to invite you to just get comfortable wherever you are. You could be laying down, sitting in a chair. You can sit on your yoga mat, however is most comfortable for you to sit in this moment, and just take a moment to get as comfortable as you'd like to be. And then I'm going to invite you to gently close your eyes and just start to become aware of your breath. as you're drawing in your breath in and out. Don't try to control the breath, just let it be what it is. If you notice particular sounds around you, like I'm in my house right now, it's like there could be barking dogs, planes flying overhead, whatever. That's just part of your experience, right? We don't have control over those things, so just allow them to be what they are in this moment without having the need to control them or change them in any way. With your eyes closed, just begin to notice how you feel in your body. Are there any particular areas of your body that are causing you pain? Any of your areas of the body that are talking to you right now? Just notice where there's any tension or tightness in the body. Just continue to allow your breath to be slow and steady, breathing in and exhaling long. Just as we notice the areas of tension in the body, I want you to just notice any areas where you're experiencing freedom and openness. What parts of the body feel good? What parts of the body are you free from pain? And just notice those as well. This whole process is really a process of scanning the body, noticing without judgment. And so I'm not saying this is good and this is bad. I'm just noticing what's present. What am I feeling in my body right now? What am I experiencing in my body at this moment? This is a very important practice, and it's probably the most important practice that you could do. And it seems so simple that many people will disregard it, or they'll think that it's, not something they need to practice. And what I'll tell you is you can do this practice pretty much anywhere. You could do it at any time throughout the day. You can do it at your office. You could do it at school. You can do it in a line, at the shopping market or the bank. Any of those moments are opportunities where you can do this scan and just become aware of your breath, become aware of your body, and just notice how you feel. Those are the first steps towards really getting in touch with your inner self and with your physical body. And that message that's being sent, the way to experience it on deeper and deeper levels is to heighten your awareness in this way, just through this practice. Now, there are more stretches that we can do for headaches, but I really just want to again say that this practice of scanning the body is the foundation for everything that will allow you to have a long-term experience of health and well-being, free from headaches, right? Or when the headaches come on, you'll notice them before they hit you really hard, and you'll be able to take preventative measures to not have them manifest into something debilitating. You'll recognize that your head is starting to hurt long before it manifests into something that's unmanageable. and uncontrollable. Some of the best stretches that I do for headaches are not related to the neck. Oftentimes I'll start my stretches with the shoulders, the back, and the front of the body, the chest. And so I just want you to take and kind of squeeze your shoulders up toward your ears on the inhalation, and exhale. Just drop the shoulders down. Let's just let them drop. Deep breath in, inhale, squeeze. And drop. Inhale, squeeze. And drop. This feeling of tension here in the shoulders is where a lot of people carry tension and tightness, right? And so I start a lot of stretching for my head and for headaches and things like that with shoulders. And so I'm just going to start by rotating the shoulders forward and back. I'd like to do one at a time. You can do both if you'd like. So I'm just breathing naturally as I rotate the shoulders. And there's no special number. You can do this as many times as you'd like, and then when you're ready, again, I'm just listening to my body, so when I feel like I'm ready to move, I'll do it the opposite direction, and then maybe I might alternate, right, do both sides. The important thing is to really start to key in on your own body and notice how you feel. So one of the great things to do after you finish that is to, again, just take a moment and reflect. This is, again, about slowing down, right? So I'm going to take a moment, just close my eyes down, notice in my body, in my neck and shoulders, how do I feel? Noticing, like, what kind of effect did those movements have on my body? Taking just a simple moment like that to notice and reflect on the effect the pose had on your body is exactly what you need to help continue to develop your inner sense of awareness. So often people go to exercise classes and they move through the poses as quickly as they can, and they move to the next pose, and there's none of this downtime. There's no opportunity for self-reflection. And one of the things I'm doing in my practice right now is I'm creating space. I'm creating a space in which I can practice this, and I can allow myself to experience whatever it is that comes up. So, if I feel pain, tightness, whatever it is, I can explore it. And if there's some connection to that physical pain, to a thought, an emotion, any kind of spiritual aspect to it, I can allow that to happen in this space, right? I know that this is a safe space, and it's an environment in which I'm saying, it's okay. It's okay for me to explore this and to face it right now. And it may not always be that way, right, in your life. Like, there's places where you don't want this stuff coming up. You don't want it coming out, like when you're at work or when you're at school, or certain times during the day. It's like you do need to keep this balance, right, of not just dumping everything out and then letting it kind of create chaos in your life. So I'm using this time in this practice to say, this is a good time, right? Like, if there's a deeper meaning behind this, then I'm opening myself to experiencing it and understanding it on a deeper level. So as I'm going through those poses and as I'm resting into the breath, I'm also opening myself to the inner messages that I'm going to receive potentially, right, from the Spirit within me about what it is that I'm experiencing, about maybe what it is that I need to change or to look at in my life that's going to help me with the difficulties that I'm facing. One great stretch that I really enjoy doing is just a modification of a standing pose. So normally this is done standing. I'm just going to do the upper body portion. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cross my arms, hopefully at the elbows, right? If you are unable to do that, don't try to push yourself, right? It's really about you finding what's comfortable for your body and what you can do. So I'm going to show you in a moment, and then I'll show you some alternates. So I'm going to try and cross the arms at the elbows and together here in this position. Hands are kind of back to back. If you can't do that, then you could use your forearm to kind of squeeze that in, or you could use your hand here, right, to squeeze that arm in. Okay. So wherever you're at, you're going to come into this position. And then you should feel a nice stretch in between the shoulder blades. So I'm going to breathe deeply into my back from this position and exhale long. I'm really allowing myself to work with the breath. So you take a stance or take an attitude that the breath is your companion. Your breath is here to help you. And so as I'm working with the breath, I'm breathing into a space where there's tightness in between the shoulder blades. As I exhale, I'm letting it out, and I'm going to switch sides and do the opposite side. And then again, just gently release. I'm going to take a moment and bring my awareness once again back inside, so you can close down your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and just noticing, how do I feel on each side of the body? How did that pose affect the structure and the feeling, the sensation in the body? Again, I'm working with the breath. I'm allowing the breath, as I breathe in, I'm breathing it into the areas of the body where I'm experiencing a tightness and tension. As I'm exhaling, the breath is carrying it away, so it's helping to relax my body with each breath that I'm taking. So often people will stretch and stretch and stretch their back. And so like they have back pain or they have neck pain, and so they're stretching the back side of their body and ignoring the front of their body. And I don't want to do that. One of the things that I'd really like to share with you is that in these poses, we always want to strive for balance as we're going through a pose for the back. We're gonna counterbalance with a pose for the front of our body. And if you sit at a desk like I do, and work at a computer, you'll really appreciate that you round the body and you're on the keyboard and your neck's kind of forward, right? And so you've got this unnatural position, this unnatural structure of the body. And it has a tendency to overstretch your back. So your back is actually overstretched. So you keep stretching your back, hoping to make things better, and it's not really helping, right? Because what's happened is your chest and the front of your body, right, has tightened, and that tension is pulling you forward. And so what we really need to do is actually open through the front of the body. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a comfortable position. You could do this from a seated position on a chair or even standing. I'm going to take my hands and kind of bring them back behind me. I'm going to lengthen through my spine. So I'm lengthening up, reaching the hands back, interlacing the fingers. Might even turn so you can see a little better. So I'm interlacing the fingers back behind the back, lengthening through the body, reaching the hands down towards the floor. And then I'm thinking about lengthening from the center of the collarbone here out to the shoulders. Stretching through the front of the body. You can gently look up to get even a little bit more stretch through the front of the neck. And then from here, I'm just going to breathe. Deep breath in, exhale. When I do this breath here, I can feel like the tightness through the chest, and so I'm trying to breathe into that tightness, right? Trying to expand the breath into the area of the body where I'm experiencing the stretch. Just gently release, come back to center. So again, you can take a moment, just feel how that affected your body. I feel imbalance, right? Like I can feel the back where I stretched and now the front where I stretched the body. It's always about balancing when we start to move these poses together. There's a counterbalance to each one, right? So I stretched through the back and I stretched through the front, and we're going to do the same thing right now with the neck. So when I stretch through the neck, a lot of times it's the same thing. People stretch and stretch and stretch the back of the neck, and we're going to do that. But I also want to make sure I stretch through the front of the neck. So I'm going to show you two stretches that again are going to counterbalance each other and really help to bring your body into an awareness of how you feel in your neck. And noticing that is really the first step into helping to improve that state for you. So again, I'm going to lengthen through my spine. I'm lengthening all the way up through the crown of my head. And then I'm going to exhale and just gently take my ear toward my shoulder on one side. And then I can make small little minor adjustments, micro adjustments with my chin. So the position of my chin, I can position to get the stretch to move into different parts of my neck. And so I'm going to be very gentle, and I'm going to move till I find a spot where right there I can actually feel a great stretch into my traps here in the middle part of my neck. And then I'm just going to breathe into that spot. One little trick that I do sometimes too is I'll extend in the opposite direction of a stretch. So I'm stretching my head this way. I'm going to extend my arm down towards the ground, reaching my arm in the opposite direction, and that really increases the intensity of the stretch here for me. And I'm breathing into it. When you go to relax and come out of the pose, release the arm first and then the neck back to center. This is a great opportunity to practice like one-sided awareness. So I just did the stretch on this side of my body, and so I'm going to notice how does this side of the body feel in comparison to the side that wasn't stretched. That can give me a lot of awareness, right, into how the other side actually feels right now, like it's really wanting to stretch, like I can feel like the relaxing effect of that stretch on this side of the body, and now this side is like even more tense, like it's angry, right? Like it's like, I want you to stretch this side because I can actually feel the tension in this side of my neck. And so it's a good opportunity to just feel that and hold that again without judgment. So I'm just noticing the two sides. I'm not judging whether one is better than the other. I'm just noticing the effect of the stretch. And then I'm going to move into the other side. Again, micro adjustment of the placement of your chin to just move that stretch into the area where you're experiencing any pain, tension, tightness, and then breathing into that spot with the breath. Whenever we're stretching, we don't want any sharp pains or quick movements. So I'm always moving very gently. I'm listening to my body, and it's like there's a balance. There's like a balance with the stretch. So I'm not taking it so far that it's like it really, really hurts, but I'm also not doing it so lightly that there's no feeling at all, that there's no tension or tightness, right? So I'm taking it just to the edge where I can start to feel the stretch, where I can feel it working, and then not too tight where I'm actually like hurting myself with the stretch. And then just back to center. So that was a great stretch for the back and the sides of the neck, a little bit of the traps, the top of the shoulders there. Okay. So the front of the neck, you just want to be real careful about the position of your head, the position of your neck as you're stretching, but you're not cutting off your circulation. So I'm going to turn the back of my head so it's like I'm trying to take it to the top of this shoulder. So I'm going to look up in this direction and take this the back of my head to the top of the shoulder. And then again, the placement of the chin, so I'm kind of looking up. If I jut my chin forward, I can get even more of a stretch through this front part of the neck here. I can also take this hand and press down on the shoulder. So these are just like little tricks again to help increase the intensity. It's like an assisted stretch. I'm pushing down on the shoulder. If you need more tension, you can use both hands even. Okay. Looking up, chin is jutting forward, back of this head towards the shoulder here, and you should feel that stretch through the front part. And again, if you start to feel lightheaded or any kind of sensation where your eyes are getting fuzzy or anything like that, then just come out of the pose. So just want to be real careful with the front of the neck here. I'm just coming back to center. I'm going to move into the other side. Just making a little micro adjustment to the placement of my chin to get a good stretch through the front part of the neck here. So like with TMJ and those things, I can always feel, the tightness in my jaw. And so like from that position, I'm just going to do a little gentle self-massage right here in the jaw. And that's another great one if you're someone who clenches your teeth at night or tightens your jaw a lot. You can start to bring your awareness there and try to, just relax the jaw. Just some real gentle self-massage. I might even open. Good. I hope those practices are helpful for you. There are more poses that we could do, right? So that's just a starter set, and really you can carry that awareness with you throughout your day, and you can do those poses at various times throughout your day. It doesn't have to be at a time when you just say like, oh, I'm just gonna sit on this sit on this mat and do these poses. Sometimes I'll do some of those stretches like in the car or when I'm in line and things like that, right? If I want to try and just tune into my awareness, I can do that at any time, at any place, just kind of bringing my awareness in, noticing how I feel, right? And that's what will really start to get to building your awareness and allowing then these poses to be like tools that you can pull out of your toolbox to help you at any moment. And as you continue to practice, as you continue to learn, you get more and more of those tools, right? You get to learn more poses, more practices, more techniques that can help you in various situations. Some poses, may or may not help you because maybe your tension is in a different place. And so by becoming aware of where exactly you're holding your tension, you can start to shape your practice toward what you know is going to be most helpful to you. So I hope that's helpful. And if you did find it helpful, please like and share this video with others. We're trying to reach as many people as we can to help help empower people who are suffering from various conditions. And alternative and complementary therapies like yoga can be helpful for those things. Sometimes you might want the help of a practitioner, and if that's the case, you can look up practitioners on mayallbewell.com and look for a massage therapist or a yoga therapist or a chiropractor, someone to work with to help you come into these types of deeper awarenesses of your own body. Sometimes it's great to have an external helper, someone that's kind of helping you practice. And if you'd like to see additional videos, we're going to be putting out more videos, and you might just choose to subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications, and that way you see our latest videos as they are released. And in yoga, we just put our hands together in Namaste position. I'm going to bring my hands together and bow my head. And I'm just acknowledging you and thanking you for being here today. You might like to bow your head as well and just offer yourself your own thanks for taking time today, for practicing yoga, for taking time to listen to the messages that your body is sending you, and offering your gratitude for those messages as a pathway to deeper awareness. Namaste. May all be well.